Hello friends, this is Worm, and I do apologize for not posting yesterday, but today's Tuesday, so it's time for another Hot Take Tuesday, the series where we take a look at some pretty spicy takes in Destiny 2. Of course, I want to point this out real quick. If you have an idea or a opinion about Destiny 2 that is not very popular, and you want me to talk about it, leave it in the comment section below. But with that being said, 600 vault space is plenty more than enough vault space for your Guardians. Now this one I feel like is very controversial, and I think that a lot of people that are going to watch this video, probably you included, are going to think, yes, that's true, but also no, it's not true. Because this is kind of the way that I think about it. 600 vault space, like when you say it out loud, it's like, yeah, I think that's good. Like that's plenty of vault space. But then you get in game and you realize you're like me and you have, I don't know, like 598 spots filled in your vault because you can't get rid of things, and you wish that there were more. And so, you know, the whole concept of more vault space is nothing new in Destiny. Like, people have been asking for it forever. Like, you know, players have been begging Bungie. Of course, it used to be 500. Well, actually, if we want to take a little trip down memory lane, back in Destiny 1, it was, I believe, 20 spots. I think that's all you had. You had 20 spots. So your vault was reserved for literally your most prized possessions. But then we get to D2, and I think it originally started with 400 slots, and then it moved up to 500. Now it's up to 600 slots. And like I said, you know, a lot of people have those spots filled, and they constantly ask, we want more vault space, we want 1,000 vault space, we want unlimited vault space, blah, blah, blah. And I think that's obviously the reason why Bungie doesn't do this is because Bungie, number one, doesn't want players to be attached to their old stuff. And this is kind of an issue that basically everybody has, like, you know, with old weapons. Say, what's a weapon that's pretty old that I still use regularly? A Cartesian coordinate, for example. I still use Cartesian coordinate very regularly, and that weapon is pretty darn old. Like, how many of y'all, and don't lie, how many of y'all, if Black Armory weapons hadn't been sunset, how many of y'all would still be using them? How many of y'all would still be using Mountaintop and Recluse if they were not sunset? How many of y'all, hell, how many of y'all have Mountaintop, Recluse, or Black Armory weapons in your vault? Because I know that I do. And I think that's, you know, with vault space, like, the reality is so many players' vaults are just full of junk that you have never touched. And actually, I did a moderate vault cleaning the other day because I was literally at 600 spots. I needed to go through and dismantle some stuff, and I was looking at my vault, and I have, like, you know, 5 or 6 of the same weapon. They have all different roles, and I put them in there because I'm thinking, oh, like, you know, I want to keep these because, you know, maybe they'll be good in the future, or because they all fill a different role. Like, what is it, Lethal Abundance, for example, one of the newer Iron Banner weapons. I have, I think, 4 different roles. I have one with Enlightened Action and Hatchling. I have one with Dynamic Sway, Tap the Trigger. I have one with Dynamic Sway, Target Lock. I have one with what is it, Enlightened Action and Onslaught. Like, I have a bunch, and all of them are technically for different roles. Like, you know, they fill different positions. And I was looking, I was like, man, I've had these for a couple months, and I've literally never touched them. You know, and that one of the nice things that Bungie has done is, of course, they've added the ability, or not the ability, but weapon counters to all weapons in Destiny 2. And that helps because I look through my vault and I see things that have been in there for years with 0 kills on them. Still, I'm like, oh, I don't want to let go of it. I don't want to let go of it because it might be good one day. And that's, it's unfortunate that that's kind of a reality of where we are. Is, yes, like, everything might be good one day, but the reality is you shouldn't be asking for more vault space if your vault is full of junk that you have never touched. And that's, you know, you need to learn to stop hoarding things. The vault, in my opinion, the vault should be reserved for weapons that you have an incredible attachment to. So say like Black Armory weapons, right? Black Armory weapons are a great example. You've got, you know, 10, 20,000 kills on your Blast Furnace, and you want to keep it, absolutely put it in the vault by all means. You know, you've got 50,000 kills on Recluse, which is, you know, pretty average, I guess. Put it in your vault. That's fine, but don't put that outlaw kill clip hand cannon that you got as a world drop in there. You're never going to touch that. You know how many hand cannons roll with outlaw and kill clip, or outlaw and, you know, opening shot, or whatever combo you want? Like, I guarantee you there's tons of other weapons that can roll with that combo, and you're only saving that one because it's a god roll. And that's kind of the problem that many players have. you know, you want to save all the god rolls that you get. But the reality is we are not living in a world where your vault can contain all of the god rolls, especially when there's multiple god rolls on multiple different weapons. You know, Insidious is one that comes to mind. Rapid Hit Rampage, that's a god roll. You know what else is a god roll? Dragonfly and Rampage. What else? Rapid Hit and I think Headseeker, I think Headseeker can roll on it. Like, there's a bunch of different god rolls, like that Lethal Abundance that I just talked about a second ago. Like, it's got a bunch of different rolls that I want to try and that I'm excited to try, but I dismantled a bunch of them because, number one, I can still get it. Like, if I really am in a pinch, I can go back in Iron Banner and I can grind and get those rolls again. But the reality is I haven't used them in months. And the reality is you probably need to go into your vault and dismantle things that you haven't used in months. And actually, I think even Data one time said, if a weapon's sunset, it has no place in your vault. It has no place in Destiny 2. And this is something I also kind of agree with. Like, you're holding on to that Dragonfly Rampage, guilty as charged, Dragonfly Rampage Ringing Nail. Why? Like, really, why are you still holding on to that? Are you really going in there and looking at it every day, inspecting it, taking it into PvE activities? I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say probably not, because it's not really viable. I think that you could make an argument with Mountaintop and Recluse because they're PvP weapons, and you can still take them into PvP. Like, I have a Tatara Gaze with targets. I'm sorry, not target lock. What is it? Rangefinder and Snapshot, maybe, or Rangefinder, Kill Clip. I can't remember what the exact roll on it is, but I have a Tatara Gaze. It's a PvP roll. I keep it every now and then. Once in a blue moon, I'll pull it out and I'll take it in the Crucible and use it. Why am I holding on to it? I don't know. I should take my own advice here and just get rid of it because I don't use it very often. But there's a difference between keeping PvP related stuff, because PvP is not power enabled, and keeping PvE rolls just because they're sentimental to you. And again, like, if you have only one or two weapons that are sentimentally close to you, that's fine. Like, I've seen some players' vaults where they have, like, you know, the first page isn't even filled, and I'm like, wow, that's impressive. You know, in fact, I think that the majority of my vault is probably consumed by exotic armor pieces, because there's so many different, you know, stat distributions and builds and stuff that I want to do. And, you know, I get an exotic that I like. For example, Graviton Forfeit. I love using Graviton Forfeit. I think it's a fantastic exotic. Every time I get one, I put it straight into the vault. Because at the end of the month, if I go in there and I'll go to D2 Armorsmith and I will put together a new build with the highest possible stats, and I'll say, okay, like, did I get any better exotics? Did I get any better Graviton Forfeits than the one I currently have? So far, no. The one I got is really, really good. But with that being said, you know, lots of players, like, they're complaining about vault space, but you're not really doing anything to manage your vault space. Like, you know, you're putting stuff in there that has no place and no business being in there. Just because you get Outlaw and Kill Clip, for example, on a weapon doesn't mean it has to go in your vault. Like, you need to ask yourself, are you going to use that? For me, for example, I don't use hand cannons hardly ever. I don't like the feel of them. I think that they're slow. I don't think that they hit hard enough for me. I'd rather use something like an auto rifle inside of PvE anyways. So I don't keep a whole lot of hand cannons. Why am I keeping an Outlaw Kill Clip IS Luna that I have never used? I don't know. I really have no answer to that. And so, like, that's the kind of stuff you need to ask yourself. Like, if you don't like a particular archetype of weapon, why would you keep it? If you don't like grenade launchers, why would you keep grenade launchers? If you don't like shotguns, why would you keep shotguns? If you don't like pulse rifles, why would you keep pulse rifle god rolls? Like, it doesn't matter if they get changed or not, if they're busted or not. If you don't like the feel of something, you're probably never really gonna like the feel of it. So just get rid of it. But I don't know, like, vault space, it's such an interesting topic, because, like I said, I think so many people would agree with it and also disagree with it at the same time. Like you're conflicted. I'm conflicted because I'm like, oh, yeah, 600 that's a lot of space. Like, that's a lot of stuff to keep. But on the flip side, it's like, I want more. Like, I want to hoard. Let me hoard, Bungie, please. But I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts on it. A little bit of a lighter hot take Tuesday for today, I guess. But yeah, 600 vault space, I think at the end of the day is plenty more than enough for most players. You just need to stop hoarding your crap. quite frankly. And yeah, with that being said, I want to hear your thoughts on Vault Space 600. Do you think it's enough? Do you think it's not enough? Tell me all that in the comments. Of course, if you like today's video, drop a like, helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content. And guys, do me a favor, watch the videos you see here on the end screen, because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks you'll like them. I will see y'all next time. Bye for now.